Today I'm going to tell you about how I found this industry, what the business model is, and who this is actually for. So I did multiple things in my entrepreneur career, and I want to just go over it really quick. So the first thing I started was I actually started working for Xerox as a rep. I was a sales development outside rep. And I used to do a lot of door knocking, a lot of calling, and I used to sell copiers for a living. So that's how I started. The next thing that I did was I started to commercial real estate and then wholesaling. So commercial real estate, then wholesaling, then I was a realtor, and I did real estate for a total of like 5 years. And in real estate, I really learned how to market myself, generate leads, and also learn how to manage VAs. Then after that, my last year in real estate, I started to manage Airbnbs. And when I was managing Airbnbs, sometimes I would live in the Airbnbs because I didn't have a place to stay, or I would spend all of my money on marketing. So that's the way I saved money. And I remember when I was getting a property ready and I wasn't supposed to be there, somebody messaged me about this opportunity. It's the diabetic resale opportunity. And the whole house was dark because I didn't want anybody to know I was there. And I remember just on the ground, and the week before that, I remember praying, saying, hey, I wish somebody could, because I was making okay money at that time. I remember praying, saying, I wish I can put all this little bit of extra money that I get and put it into something so that I can multiply money. And lo and behold, a week later, somebody messaged me and they told me about this diabetic resale opportunity. That's when, after I saw it, I was like, this is crazy opportunity. I could use all my skills to do this and take this to the moon. And I literally told one of my friends at the time, said, yo, I'm gonna become a millionaire off of this business. And I eventually did. So after I purchased the course, I found out about this diabetic resale industry, which is diabetics get extra diabetic supply every single month. So doctors overprescribe diabetics so that they can make more money. That's wasted at the end of each year because a lot of times diabetics don't use all of their products. So that's where we come in the secondary market. We're able to buy their extra diabetic supplies and then resell those diabetic supplies to distributors and other wholesalers. I could take all of my skills and I can use everything I learned in real estate and totally crush this market. The first year, I was actually doing local deals and I learned a lot on how to diabetic clients, from bandit signs and just guerrilla marketing locally. By the end of that first year, I was able to really learn how I can get diabetic supply clients from online. As soon as I learned that, it took me about 6 months to really master it and make over $500 a day from the online deals. That's when I chose to travel. It's like, I can make money from here. I have somebody that will receive my product, check it in, and send it to my wholesalers. At this point, I'm pretty sure I can do everything from like my computer. I can prospect myself, close deals myself. I can do all that stuff. So I chose to actually travel. So I went to Peru. And then I traveled for the next couple years and I built my business on traveling. So I hired people, local drivers from other countries. I did all kinds of different marketing online, but I learned everything while I was traveling for the next couple years, next 4 years. And I was able to hit 7 figures at 32 profit. And that was a culmination of all the things I learned after 5 years in the business. This business has really allowed me to live in the finer things of life. I knew whenever I started this business and I knew I could do it online, I knew if I moved to another country, I would automatically save money. So I knew that from the start, and that's what I did. So that was like my business plan in the beginning: move to another country, do this business, save a lot of money, and then also live like a king. Like, I have luxury, nice Airbnbs while I was overseas, and just be able to have the finer things in life. So I was already making good money. And then I did even better by moving to another country, which saved me money. So the dollar goes a lot farther in South America. So I'm able to get nice luxury places. And you just can't, like, some of the stuff that I've gotten over there, you can't get that here. It was just a business move for me. What it's done for me is I'm able to pretty much travel where I want, have any experience I want, and pretty much live how I want to at this point in my life. Yeah, so if I want to stop traveling and I just want to live in the USA, I can make great money still. If I want to just keep traveling the world like I am doing, then that's fine too. But this business has just given me options to live wherever I want to, potentially, go back home anytime I want to as well. All right, so right now we're gonna go over the pros and cons of this business really quickly, and you're gonna learn pretty much what I learned in 5-7 years at this point. So pros, it's repeatable, it's predictable income. The more customers you get, the more your monthly income gets. Why? Diabetics need their supplies every single month, so they get extra supplies every single month. So you're able to predict, okay, I'm gonna make this much money on this deal, this much money on this deal. Then eventually you start getting to 500 deals a month or more, and that becomes your new norm. And this is very scalable. It's super easy to scale. You don't have to feel great every single day while you're doing this, and you can still easily scale this business. So the really cool thing about this repeatable business is I've met a bunch of people that have been in this business longer than me. They do zero marketing, but they've had the same customers for years. And just like I met with somebody recently potentially buying their business, he told me, yeah, I get referrals. I go up about 10 to 15% per year. So his business is steady climbing, and he does little to no marketing, and he's still able to continually grow a lot. And that's the magic of this business, is you can go hard for 6 months and market a lot and get a bunch of new business, and then for the next 6 months you could just adapt to all the new business, and because it takes an adapting period too. You can't just go hard, spend a bunch of money on marketing and pay for product, because it could leave you in a cash flow deficit. So you gotta be careful with that. But that's the really cool thing about this business, is you can literally go hard for 3 years and then just keep that business and keep doing that year after year after year. And you just get referred, you just get referrals from people, and your business will just grow from referrals and doing good customer service. Really easy to do, but you've got to be really good at customer service, be on time, making sure that you're showing up every single time, not being lazy. It's really easy, but it's hard to stay consistent. That's what it is. Another pro is you get to meet a lot of people. So you meet all different walks of life. You meet poor people, you meet middle-class people, you meet wealthier people. There's diabetics in each income bracket. So even the wealthier people, they just want to make money. It's funny because those people, even though they don't need it, they just get a high from just selling their extra supply because they know they can, right? And then obviously middle class and my poor clients, they need the money. So there's a range of people that you'll meet in this business in all different walks of life. Just think about it. Diabetics can be male, female, different ages, different industries. It's actually pretty cool. It's not just one type of person. Another thing is you could potentially make this a cash business if you didn't want to. This is not any kind of legal advice, but if you want to just make this a cash business, you could. It's very easy to do that. You just pay them in cash, and then you can also get paid in cash as well. Obviously, talk to your accountant about that, but I'm just saying it's easy to make it a cash business. Another big pro is you can have customers for life, basically. So whenever you are doing really good customer service with somebody, they just eventually trust you, and they want to just keep doing business with you. They don't want to do business with anybody else. I still have customers that I've dealt with on year 1, and it's year 7, and they won't talk to any of my virtual assistants. They won't talk to any of my reps. They literally wait for me to come home to Tampa to sell all their supply. And sometimes, I'll come to Tampa once or twice a year, and I'll meet with them. And they talk to me. Sometimes they'll, call me on the phone and talk to me. And that's just the kind of relationships you build, because it's frequency. You see them once a month. Imagine you see somebody once a month for 3 years. You're gonna have so many conversations with them and get to know them. It's like you're creating real relationships. Okay, I discussed this earlier. If you go hard for 1 year, you can make humongous gains. So I know people that they went hard for 3 years and they're just like, I don't even want to market anymore. I'm good. I like the business the way it is right now. I just want to keep my current business. I don't want to grow anymore. I just got my driver and my VA, and I'm gonna give them the reins. I'm gonna travel a little bit this year, and it's super easy to do that. And then there's people like me where I just wanna keep growing month after month, week after week. So you get 2 different kinds of people. It just depends on where you're at. And like I said, I do know that there are people that they're okay with $400,000 a year and they don't wanna put any more effort into it. Like I said, I met with a person locally. We might buy his business, and he's very comfortable with his his customers. He doesn't care about doing too much marketing of any sort. He's okay with where he's going. But the really cool thing is though, even if you don't market, you're still able to get referrals. You still grow your business. As long as you're good at just being consistent with all your clientele, you can still grow your business. That's the really cool part. That's the effect of being good at your business, you know, referrals. Yeah, another big pro is it's very easy to make 6 figures in this business. Really, really easy. If you don't want to do any kind of internet stuff, you don't want to do any internet businesses, you know how that's so cool, e-com, freaking high ticket closing, all these different kinds of new styles of business. You know, this is a super easy business you could do in your, like basically your neighborhood. And you can buy people's products for years. You know, I know people that they don't even want to touch the online space, but they do want to make sure that they have an organized business and they, you know, hire drivers. But it's possible to hit 6 figures and live a very, very peaceful life with this business and not have to worry about, you know, those sorts of things. So if you want to just easily hit 6 figures and do that, it's very possible in this business. You don't have to show your face, basically. I would recommend that you do just for personal relationships, but you really don't have to. All right, now we're going to talk about the cons of this business. And I really don't think there's a lot of cons here, but I was really trying to think up what are the cons. Cons, it's not sexy. You go to like a business networking event, you tell somebody what you do, they're like, what the heck is that? Like, it doesn't sound sexy. It's not real estate. It's not like motivational speaking. It's not freaking building a cool brand online. Like, it's none of that. Like, it's so boring, basically. But boring, and that actually is a pro. Boring businesses are actually money makers. Anyways, in terms of status, you know, you're not gonna grow any status, you know, telling a girl like, hey, you know, I actually buy and resell diabetic supplies. Like, there's no status upgrade there. Like, whereas, like I said, other industries, there could be. Another con is that a lot of people think that they're not making a lot of money when they first start, where it takes time to get repeat customers, it takes time to get new customers, but it all adds up though. That's the thing with the momentum of it, it just adds up. So you can get 10 new customers in 1 month, and then the next month you have the 10 new customers and your current clientele that you've had the whole last couple months as well. And then you keep going, then you got 20 more new clients, and then you got boom, and then it just compounds. It can compound really fast. So that's why, like, when I see that I've done a bunch of new deals, new customers, that gets me excited because I know that more income when it comes to the whole year, you know, versus doing a repeat customer. So that's another, actually, is that a con? That's not even a con. Actually, that's a pro. That's a pro, but the con is a lot of times people don't have the mindset, they don't understand what to expect. So the con is like, it doesn't seem like it's a good business at first. There you go, that's the con. And then the last thing is obviously people think it's illegal. Hey bro, you're not allowed to buy people's prescription drugs. Well, yeah, that's obvious. But the products that we deal with are all over the counter product, non-government issue. So we don't buy government product. We buy from people that have private insurance, non-government diabetes supplies. And also too, I buy from wholesalers. Like I said, all these products are over the counter. And that's pretty much all the cons. One of the big cons too is that a lot of times people, let's say your friends and family, are like, yo, that guy's doing something illegal. In reality, you're not doing anything illegal if you're just dealing with the OTC products, over-the-counter products. You're not allowed to buy from any government-issued products as well. So as long as you're sticking to OTC and you're not buying anything that is from government, Medicare, Medicaid, then you're perfectly fine. You can build a phenomenal business just off of OTC and those kind of, I mean, it's very easy, obviously. So that's one of the cons. Just the cons is people are like, they don't think you're legit sometimes, especially starting out, they don't think you're legit. But once you start showing them that success and eventually they come up to you, they're like, man, is that illegal? And then you're like, no, it's not, because this. And then they're like, oh. So it takes time to basically show your friends and family you're not doing anything illegal and you're successful too. So who's this business for? This business is for somebody that really wants to dominate. You know, they understand that it could take 1 to 2 years to really get this thing going, and it takes very meticulous steps, knowing how to negotiate the right way, squeezing the juice out of every single lead you get, being available, hiring people, and those sorts of things. So it's for people that want to build a real business and that are okay with going through the steps, working hard and building it. Another person this is for as well is somebody that just doesn't want to do all the online stuff. You know, they sing all these different types of businesses online, SMMA, agencies, high ticket closing, remote sales, all this stuff that they got to go online to do or whatever. This business, you can easily do it at home. It's very easy to make 10K a month. It's very easy to have your set of customers that you deal with every single month. You know, you don't have to like do anything crazy marketing. There's none of that. If you want, you could just do this business, live a real peaceful life, make a bunch of money or not make a bunch of money. It's really your choice on how much you want to, you know, spend in marketing, stuff like that. So that's really who this is for. So it's not the business model or the industry that's going to make you successful. One thing I want you guys to really realize is that this business is not the industry or the business model that makes you successful. It's you. You got to put in the work. You got to make sure you're doing everything thoroughly. Don't expect results or don't expect quick results if you're not willing to continually learn how to refine your process and make this better. And you got to go through that own journey by yourself in the beginning to find that success. And I can't do that for you. If you're a new entrepreneur and you're looking to get into this business model, I have a full course. It's in depth. I show you exactly how you can hit your first 10K. It's in the link below. Click it, sign up, pay, and let's get it started.